All right, greetings, everyone. Thanks for showing up today. I applaud you. I applaud those of you who were not part of this ritual they have. Super Bowl. All these games are nothing but rituals to harness your energy and your resources. How long y'all can fall for these games? Politics. All these things to divide people. Competition. How can you work together if you always compete with one another? Welcome, everyone. This is your man, Youngblood, and this is your channel, Soul Food Channel. And we've been known by other names as well. 10 o'clock Scholar, Staying in the Light broadcast, Typhoon World. We're one and the same. We have different names at different times, just like we have different months during the year, right? So we change our name when it suits us. Our name be in harmony with the times. I'm going to repeat some things because very little is new these days. As it said, nothing's new under the sun. But some things bear repeating. So I'm going to repeat a few things I've heard recently that I want to pass on to the tribe. Yeah, this is for my tribe. If you're not in my tribe, I wouldn't be offended because something may offend you. But remember now, you're not in my tribe, so it's not for you. And until we figure out how to make our meetings private, hey, we can't stop it from coming in. But the day will come when you will not hear, you will not be among us. That day is very near. Okay, a few things I want to repeat that's been discussed among the various powwows I've been into. Remember, how many of y'all remember the movie Matrix? How many of y'all remember the movie The Matrix? If you're a millennial, if you just born in the 90s, man, you really don't know what's going on. Because for those of us who've been around for a minute, when The Matrix came out, man, this is a mind-blowing movie. Sophia, what's her name? The one who wrote the movie, this melanated woman. I know her first name Sophia. It'll come to me later. But that movie explains everything the conscious community was discussing for about the last 10 years. It brought everything to light. It made physical what was in our mind and our imagination when they said we're in a matrix. That's a fictionalized world. Nothing is real. They got you in a fictionalized name. It's not who you really are. And I don't know if y'all can understand that concept. However, it demands your research because if you're hearing this for the first time, you're not going to understand it. So do your due diligence. And that just takes time. Take time for you to understand it. Well, anyway, in the Matrix, the phrase is constantly made that the people who are in the Matrix are plugged into it. You're plugged into the system. You run off of their energy. You run off of their time. Everything that they do, You are part of it and you energize it. So those who are outside of the matrix have unplugged. They have unplugged. Meaning what? Meaning you're not depending on the system. That's where you're going to find freedom, people. Not in this black and white conflict, not in this Democratic Republican conflict. No, you're going to find freedom when you unplug yourself from the matrix. And how can you do this if you don't have your own uh, support system? Meaning, if you grow your own food, oh yes, you can unplug. If you don't need anything from the so-called rulers, you're free. But if you got to go to work to pay your bills, to pay your rent, to eat, to take care of your family, to buy toilet paper, you got to depend on somebody else. You're not free. So this takes a time. It's not something you can do overnight. It takes time to get free, but you need to start. It's easy to see people who are plugged in. I don't care how conscious they may talk. One way you can tell someone is plugged in, they're using these they're using these color codes, calling themselves black and white. You rarely hear so-called white people call themselves white. Why is that? Black people quick to say, "Oh, I'm black, I'm black, I'm black," not knowing when they say that they're cursing themselves. They're putting a curse on themselves because black come from slavery. Yet it made you think it was beautiful back in the 70s. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. But you can't change the meaning of a word. You can't change the negativity of the word by loving and calling yourself it. You can't change it. It still means sinister death. In law, it means civil martus, dead to law. You don't have no rights as a black person. You're dead. So you said, I'm proud to be dead. Just because everybody does something don't mean it's right or even sane, because the whole world can be insane, except you. That's true. So anytime I hear people refer to themselves as black or white, I know they're plugged deep into that matrix. They don't have any real consciousness. Now, let me qualify that. If you just using it to describe a situation or people, but it's not something you really use a lot, I can understand. But I'm saying if you really strongly identify yourself, oh, I'm strongly foundational black America, you are lost. You're plugged into the matrix, you're sick and you're insane, and I won't have nothing to do with you. I'm a black American. You're sick, insane, I don't want nothing to do with you. I'm Afro American, same thing. I'm African, same thing. Y'all sick, delusional, psychotic. And they want to know why we suffer the way we do. Your suffering is on yourself. Okay, another point I want to make. Okay, I made a video recently about this. Oh, they not let this one go. You see, when I got some hot topics, they closed the chat. I get it. I come here and get entertained just by the way the people who run this channel act. It's funny. They think they're hurting me. They don't know that suppressing truth is hastening the destruction of all. When you try to suppress truth, man, that's your salvation. Just because you got the power to do it, you are you're insane. You stuck into the matrix. Anybody who supports this system is stuck in the matrix. And there's really no hope for you. There is no hope for you. Okay, I made a video a while back about Jesus and how he's nowhere mentioned in the Old Testament, but then the New Testament says he has a miracle birth, virgin birth, right? And in the Old Testament, they have a genealogy. They give the genealogy of Jesus. So he was a living human being person. But there's two. There's a false one and there's a real one. The fake one was invented by Constantine 300 years before Christ even existed. They had this fake image of this Messiah. Yeah, all these superpower, these super heroes, super strength, like Superman. That one is fake. Because if a person did all those things then, there'll be people doing it today. So I don't care how much they got you deluded, you are psychotic. You're not in the real world. You're plugged into the matrix, which is really insane. I'm happy to see they're going to start having insane asylum back because a lot of people belong in them. A lot of people belong in these asylum and insane asylum. Why did they stop? Why did they stop? And who was it that closed the insane asylum? Because they thought that was cruel. No, some people belong in there. They don't belong in society with regular people. They do horrendous things being in society. Yeah, they need to be locked up. So yes, there's study the scriptures. There's a Jesus that Paul invented, the Pauline doctrine. That's what really got you enslaved, his doctrine. And he didn't even know the real Jesus. He had a dream. I have a dream. At least King came out of his dream and said, in the end, I'm afraid I may have brought my people into a burning house. All these years I've been teaching integration. Man, you don't want to integrate with this man. This man is insane. You see the results of integration? Well, you may not see it, but I see it very clearly because I was here when King was here. And we had our communities intact. We had everything we needed. We wasn't trying to get into their stores. Oh, that's a lie. We wasn't trying to get into their restrooms. That's a lie. They couldn't get into our communities, so they destroyed it. That's what our destruction. They bombed us. Don't believe me? Go look at the Red Summer, 1919. They jealous, envious of us because we was the prosperous ones, and they were not. So they got this narrative out here now every year, like we begging them for something. Of Oh boy, that's the biggest lie. We wanted them to let them in their restaurants. Man, we had restaurants better than theirs. And we didn't want none of they stale cooking. They can't know how to cook nothing. We remember now, we were their cooks. When they took us in bondage, let's call it in prison, made us prisoners. There wasn't no slavery going on. We didn't come from Africa. When they imprisoned us in our own land, uh, yeah, we had to cook for them because they didn't know how to do anything. Anyway, that's another story. I think I covered my main points. Uh, there's two Jesus. There's a fake Jesus, which they had made the real one. They tried to, but it wasn't man. He wasn't no Superman. And he did live and die in the name of Jesus Christ. But the one they promoting, all fake, all made up, to keep you in a delusional state, a fantasy state, believing a lie. Because when you believe a lie and follow a lie, you become the lie and defend the lie. And the systems just keep going rolling. Thank y'all for stopping by. I don't care YouTube if you I don't care what you do with this video. You can publish it or not. It doesn't matter. But anyway, thank you for the opportunity to use your platform to give this message.